No, I don't like to do that.
Welcome to season 2 of Dirty Tea Podcast. This is your girl V Savage is back in the studio, and I am so glad to be back here and have my podcast therapy because you know your girl be going through it. Yeah, season 2 is finally here. I know it has been a while since you have listened in, and thank you everybody who has faithfully tuned back in. And we have a lot of stuff coming up this summer. Probably, I don't know a date yet, but listen out for the social medias, Dirty Tea _podcast in Facebook, Instagram. I'm getting a little bit better at Snapchat, but that's like my last resort because your girl's busy. So, we're going to be, doing something, partnering up with Bros Dough this summer. So look out for that grand opening to their new restaurant. And today's episode is going to be mortgage or marriage. I don't know about you guys, but I recently got engaged, and me and my fiancé are kind of, I don't want to say butting heads, but like he wants the big fancy wedding and I want the house. So that is the dilemma, and that's why we have brought on a professional. Her name is Janie. Shout out to Janie. And what company do you work for?
eXp Realty.
Nice.
eXp Realty. I've been working with them for about a year, but I've been a real estate agent for over 4.
Nice. And then you have your hubby.
And I'm a professional wife to my love, John.
I'm just here for the ride and the drink I got. The whiskey here.
Well, I know you can definitely chime in on the marriage part. And I'm sure you picked up some things with the
Well, yeah.
realtor aspect. I'm still training myself to say that word properly now.
Realtor?
Yeah.
Instead of realtor?
Everyone says realtor, and
But
now
so
it's
do
like
real estate agents,
embedded
too.
in my head. And I'm just like, I'm trying to retrain my brain now.
I am a real estate professional, just so you know.
There you go. That's what I'm gonna start saying. Real estate professional. Because your girl, through all the nonsense I've been going through over the last couple months, and we'll get into that in another podcast. We're not gonna do that today, but I finally finished real estate school, and I'm so excited. It's over.
He actually took real estate classes too. So
Yay!
I just gotta take the tests. I've just been busy.
Yeah. So I
finish
did the one in Mass because that's what was suggested to me. And I actually really wanted both licenses because there's a lot of people that bounce between Mass and Connecticut, especially with work.
It's easy to get licensed for once you get licensed off of one and then get the second one with it. It's not gonna be tough.
But what I didn't realize is I have to join the brokerage in Mass to keep it. So I'm like, luckily I have friends who work in Mass or know people in Mass too.
I could still help you even with that because our brokerage is everywhere. So I know we talked a little bit about that before, but I could always help you with that. We'll talk a little more about that.
Yeah, the minute I posted that, I got a million messages because I have like 20 friends in real estate. So, and that's the reason I did it to begin with, because I wanted to buy a house so bad. Before, I never cared about buying a house because with all the kids, 5 children, I don't have time to be doing yard work and house projects and all that. But now it's just like, it's gotten to a point where there's no space. We're on top of each other. It's not like when they were little, it didn't matter so much. Now they're older. They're getting on my damn nerves, and I need my space from them.
Yeah.
So,
and they can mow lawns and help you out.
I don't know about that. That's what we argue about now.
Yeah,
Just
get
the
ready
simple chores.
Get ready
but-
for house projects and anything.
Yeah.
One thing after another. Happening.
Right.
Because that's how it always goes with.
But it's got to be easier with the kids being older.
It's a
you
joy.
know.
Too.
Yeah, because it's free
it
labor.
actually
too,
feels good when you
But I mean,
Get
you
your
don't
ass
have
out there,
to.
cut the log.
You don't have to worry about dating and a baby and making sure something
Yeah.
doesn't fall on top of the baby and
Right.
the constant interruptions.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm ready and that's what I want. But
Yeah.
hubby wants the big old wedding. And I've already been married before, so
Yeah.
I could care less about
I
it.
was married once too. Before.
So you feel me, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I spent a total of $300 on that wedding.
Yeah.
Maybe $4, because the Justice of the Peace was $100. And then literally our rings for his and mine, $250. We were broke. We were 8. I was 19 years old, So now I'm just like, why would I spend like 20 grand on a wedding? Like, I
Yeah.
just can't see it. But he wants it so bad because it's his first wedding, and I want him to have that, but in due time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can see both sides for sure because of the meaning, and you can't take that away from somebody else. It just so happened that, I mean, he had his big wedding and they paid good money for their wedding and stuff, and he was over it by that time. He's like,
Yeah, but to me, it's it's fine. I don't really knock. It's just my personal opinion, but in my experience, because we spent a lot of money. Our wedding was just about 40 grand.
Shit.
And it was and I divorced her after 7 months. So it just goes to show
7
you
months?
that shit doesn't mean
What?
much of anything, So no,
I lasted 4 years, but that's because I never saw my husband.
No, it was one of those. It was one of those things where I was sitting at. I remember I was sitting at a bar, and I was like, and when we got married, I was like, well, maybe things will get better if we get married. It's just a stupid. There's a lot of men that kind of that think that
Is that
type
something
of way, and that
she
they
pushed
stay
for?
in
Or?
Yeah, pushed forward. I was just kind of giving what everything she wanted and everything, and anyway, yeah, it just things obviously just didn't get better. They don't get better just because you get married. No, I just realized I made a mistake, and then I said, I need to get out of this. I literally stepped away. I restarted my life completely because
Wow.
I just we had some money. I was like, you have all of it. I didn't even get the rest of my clothes and stuff there.
Damn, it was that bad? You let her keep all the money?
Yeah, no, because
I understand the clothes, but like...
he walks away.
the way I look at money...
He's like, my iPad and everything. I was like,
What?
dang,
all my stuff.
Passport?
All my stuff. Because the way I looked at it, I was like,
He's
you know
like,
what?
I'm not going back
I can just
over
make
there.
more money. And I just need to break this clean and just and be done. There was no ill will or anything like that, and just and then we got
I have
we got
40
ma-
grand
we-
in. There's some ill will on my end. I'm like, no.
But
that is crazy.
I know, I would be the same way. But like, just to hear him say that, when I remember him saying that to me, it's like he's buying his peace.
40 grand though? I don't need peace. 40 grand? I'm just saying.
40 grand and
that's
some,
like
because that was just the wedding. Is other stuff on
I have to
there, but,
work
like,
half a
you-
year to make
walk
that much
away
money.
from-
So I no, like you go stay in the basement or something. I'll be over here. Don't talk to me. Yeah.
Well, if he didn't walk away, he couldn't have walked into my life.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. Everything happens for a reason,
Yeah.
and
happens
she's
for
an
a
amazing girl because
Yeah.
I know her for a long time. But my question for you though, John, is that since I've never spent that kind of money on a wedding before, I don't know how this works. I just newly got engaged like a couple weeks ago. So is that like do people take loans out for that? Is that something that you just pay over time? Or do you have to keep paying that when the wedding's over? Or does everything have to be paid by the wedding day? Like, how does that work?
So my personal, that wasn't all my money. That was she really she wanted it so bad. She had her uncle was more of her father figure, and he paid for a lot of it. Okay. So it wasn't
Oh, okay.
And I was working 3 jobs. She was in college.
That's rough.
I was working like 70, I was hustling. I was so I was doing a few different things. But this was, we've been married for 9 years, so this would have been,
and we've been together for 10 years.
Yeah, so this would have been like 11 and a half years, something like that.
Right.
But yeah, so there's money spent and everything, but none of this stuff really, it was all superficial, and she was just a superficial person and material person, and
right.
But that the money didn't really, in the end, it didn't matter, at the end of the day. It didn't hold weight, it didn't hold water for me.
Right.
So like with the money that I really lost, but obviously the money that I spent on the wedding, but we had like 20 grand together, like saved up, and she like lawyered up, and she was an attorney actually.
Oh, that's convenient.
Funny enough. So there was just all
another degree I need.
Yeah.
Back to school for me.
Yeah. So, but no, once I looked at when she like lawyered up and was trying to, she was actually trying to do like alimony and some other shit, whatever. And I was just like, you know what? You can just. I got an attorney, and then I figured out what I'd have to pay the attorney at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at the bill.
You did the divorce yourself,
and I'm like.
Yeah.
I did my divorce
I'm
myself,
like, here, you
too.
just have everything. Because we weren't even together that long, so it wasn't really, we didn't have kids, we didn't have assets.
Right.
So it was,
right.
I'm not saying like every situation, but it was a clean break.
Yeah.
All I had to do was just, here,
I was lucky
make
enough.
This very easy,
yeah.
you know what I mean? So
it was the same for me. I did my own divorce because we had no assets either. Yeah. And I didn't want alimony. I was like, I'll take the child support, which he still to this day hasn't paid. But, I'm like, what's the point? Damn. Like, I can support myself. So
has been such a hustler since I've known her.
Yeah, from day one.
I mean, from high school, we've been hustling, working hard, and doing what we got to do. Yeah. And we both had our kids at the same time. Like, maybe 6 months apart. When's your daughter? Your daughter's going to be 22 soon, right?
In December, yeah.
In December. Oh, no, they're a year apart then. Because Mariah's going to be 23 then. So we were both moms, same time, working hard, making sure we're taking care of everything. And you've never needed anybody.
Never. Never.
Yeah. I feel like we had like this group of people that were like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
We were strong females.
And it's funny because my family is predominantly, well, not predominantly, they're all white. I don't know the paternal side, which is the black side. So I felt like they kind of just ignored me my whole life because they just assumed that I would reach out for help or whatever. And I never did. But now that they see, because before social media, they didn't know anything about me, to be honest. If you're not in my life, I'm not calling you and telling you what's going on with me. I'm a very private person up until, recently. And so they just assumed. And it's like now that they see, oh my God, like she is a fucking hustler. Like she really does like not ask nobody for nothing. Like now it's like they call me all the time. Like they're always like, oh my God, we're so proud of you. This and that. Like, I'll remember this when I'm rich. Like, don't think I'm going to start shelling the cash out.
Take credit
because,
for me now.
You weren't there when I was down. You're not going to be there when I'm up. You know, I still love my family, but like...
I had quite a few people in my family that did that. Actually, they were a part of my life and always had very low expectations for me. And I feel like... against all odds, fought through it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was a lot of our generation.
I think
and
that's
women. Like,
why our
didn't
stories are
wanna
so
depend
similar.
on nobody. Yeah. Maybe that's
That pushed me to prove them wrong.
Yep.
That pushed me my whole life. And then even just employers, like when I did my optical license, I did it on my own because I couldn't work and go to school. So I did it on my own. I went as far as I could. I got my certifications, and they told me I wouldn't be able to pass that. They're like, there's no way you're going to pass that without going to school. I'm like, that's where you go to Amazon, motherfucker, and you go buy books, and you read them, and you apply the information.
That's what's so messed up about. It's not really messed up, but in the U.S., our default is college. And nothing wrong with going to college, but the default is college, and it's just pushed down our throats, our kids' throats, and but now you see what's great about today. You see more and more in like job offerings. Is that it's not necessarily obviously if you're a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, but I mean. Now it's not as big of a push,
right.
So there's so many different opportunities out there that you don't need to necessarily have like a degree,
right?
A college degree or something
right.
like that. And somebody myself, as a college dropout myself, I just realized that a different path. I was like, what, I can make more money and I enjoy doing something like this, versus in sales. I'm gonna say I've been in sales for almost 20 years, and
that's how we met.
Yeah, that's how we met. But,
what'd you buy from John?
Actually, I got into car sales when he was in car sales. And we met through that. Yeah. Which is always a funny story.
Yeah, it's crazy how that, but today you don't necessarily need to have, college degrees.
Most people get into trades.
Real successful. You just got to have that hunger and that, that hustle,
And it don't even have to be a trade, like people create Etsy accounts or actually, products that they decide to sell or whatever. And they're hustling and doing their own thing, owning their own business, figuring something out.
Right.
There's so many different things. Like there's doctors and lawyers that are in debt because of
college. The student loans,
And then there's people who, had the drive and push through it all. Like I'm going to educate myself through this and that. Like that's what I actually teach a lot of my real estate agents that I mentor is that sit down with an insurance agent, sit down with an attorney, sit down, have coffee with a mortgage person, educate yourself in every part of that so that you are well-versed and you can educate people, and then you're more successful that way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like you've got a lot going on.
A lot going on. But, it's my spiritual advisor's fault because she told me to do everything in twos. And to keep it that way in order for me to reach my financial potential. So I'm like, bitch, 2 things every time. So every time I pick up a new hobby, I got to do one more on top of it. And plus, I'm a Virgo, so I'm an overachiever, a perfectionist.
Challenge.
I can't.
Accepted.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to, but challenge accepted.
So, going through the medical issues I'm going through now, all my friends who know me are like, you would be the one to be going to school while you're going through all this. Like, who does that?
And
I'm like, I do
like
that.
a G. She does it like a G.
Yeah. So... yeah, them 18-hour Zoom class on Saturday and Sunday. I wanted to slit my wrist, but I made it through.
With the mundane voices. Like, I'm trying not to fall asleep.
But it's the laugh. The guy, he thinks he's so funny, but he looks like Steve Martin, and then he has this very particular laugh that it's just... I don't know. It's annoying and entertaining at the same time. So I'm just like, sometimes I fell asleep. I'm not going to lie, but that's only because they're like, we'll give you access to all these classes to rewatch them. So I'm like, all right, I won't be a complete failure if I take a 30-minute nap in between.
No.
But,
yeah.
So as far as like someone who is a hustler who doesn't maybe have the money to throw down on a house, but they really want that before their wedding, then what advice would you give them?
So it's kind of tricky. Like, I have someone who I have a ton of people that go into purchasing, and they'll through their time, like, they come in and they educate themselves about it. But on either one, whether you're getting married or you're purchasing a house, you got to save money. Mm-hmm. And that money that you save, whether it's just enough and you broke after, and you hustle to get yourself back in place, or you save enough where you're comfortable after, or whatever, it's still gonna be something that you have to hunger for and push for. Mm-hmm. And it's not, like, for me, I never was the one that would be like, I want a huge wedding. I enjoy those type of things, but quite frankly, they give me anxiety. I remember when we even first talked about it, I was like, let's go to Vegas, get drunk, and do it. Like, that was the serious conversation.
I would love that. I still haven't been to Vegas.
Then I got pregnant. I was like, well, shotgun wedding instead. Yeah. But no, we looked at it almost easily with each other and just was like, wedding or the house? Like, literally, that was an actual conversation we had. Mm-hmm. Wedding or the house? We were like, house.
Yeah,
house
all the way.
Yep. Yeah, we got the house, and we got married at the house right after, like a month after we purchased the house.
Yep.
Yeah, because, I mean, we had the people we wanted.
Yeah.
My stepmom made the cake. We had people cooking. He did a lot of, like, the decorating with flowers.
Oh, you did the decorating, John? Let me find out.
He's very good at that. Yeah. I'm telling you, I get anxiety with that stuff. I'm like, I don't know where this is.
I'm gonna hire him as my wedding planner.
He's got a good eye for stuff. And we were just intimate, chilling in the basement, having some drinks with our friends after the family left, so we could act stupid, like grandma's not
house
watching
party.
me.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was nice.
Nahuela.
Yeah.
But
I have no regrets with that. I think that's just where my mind is. I think you and I have a similar mentality on certain things.
For me, it's because being in such a small apartment, so many heads, we're all on top of each other. And then I'm in the hood too, so let's throw that in. Like, the war going on in Hartford is just unreal right now. Like, it's insane. Like, I don't even feel comfortable laying in my bed because the window's right there. Like,
really?
It's bad. It's really bad, and you won't see any of it in the news. Like, they are really hiding this shit right now.
I didn't even know.
That's crazy.
No one would know unless you live in Hartford, like, because they have so many new real estate developments, especially around Dunkin' Donuts Park, which is my hood where I'm at. They don't want anybody to know. So they're like, I'm telling you, they are paying off anybody and everybody. Because Hartford Hospital does it. They've been doing that for a long time. They've been paying off the reporters and stuff. Because when I was working there, the shit that went down in that hospital was ridiculous. And I never, ever made the papers. Never.
Wow.
So now it's even worse now that they are going hard with the apartments that they're building in downtown. Mm-hmm. And they don't want anybody to be deterred from crime. But it's bad. Like, it's really bad. And it got to the point where my fiance, he didn't even want me, like, luckily, well, I don't want to say luckily, but I'm sad the dog ran away. But he didn't even want me walking the dog anymore because that's how bad it is.
Damn.
So he didn't want any parts of the dog, and he started walking the dog, especially if it was at night. So he would let me walk him sometimes in the morning, but he was like, yeah, it's that bad. So my whole thing is, unfortunately, I have to stay in Hartford for my kids to stay in their school. They go to Southington, which they're getting an amazing education out there.
Right.
And there's no way I can afford a house in Southington right now. So if I leave Hartford, they get kicked out their program. Yeah. But at least if I can find like a small corner of Hartford, like near Wethersfield or like, maybe in West End on the West Hartford side, maybe I can find something where, So my whole thing was doing, because I'm an overachiever. So I did the course because I'm like, first of all my friends are going to be mad at me if I don't choose this one over this one. Yeah. And then I'm a type of person that I don't like going into anything blind. I need to know what is going on so I don't get played.
Smart.
And I've learned that also from helping my girlfriend search for a house. Yeah. Which she didn't even keep. She moved out because she ended up getting engaged and she left the state like a couple months after she purchased her home. So yeah, so watching the train wreck that she was going through, she had to go through maybe two or three realtors because they were just spinning her in circles. Oh, really? And the bidding wars were crazy because this was last year.
Yep.
She closed on her house maybe October last year. So and that's the thing that plays into this fact, like decision making, because for the house, you need so much more money than you do for the wedding. The wedding you can do, like I said, I did mine for maybe $400. Yeah. Or you can, put a down payment. You can push your date out like 2 years and just make monthly payments. Payments. It's more workable for working families. But buying a house is so difficult right now.
It is. It's a rough market. But if you're smart, it's workable, and you're being smart about it too, because buying a house as an agent, you're the agent representing yourself. Once that house closes, you get a check for selling that house to yourself. Yeah. So it's you get the opportunity to cut that cost quite a bit. So there's some good stuff for you there. Plus you also get, bonuses and all these different things that go along with you purchasing your own house too. Like there's a lot of different things. But you're right. Like you could do a really nice wedding even for just about, even $5,000 or something, and have a nice intimate 100 people wedding at some cute little venue or whatever, and definitely get, it doesn't have to be 20,000, it doesn't have to be 40,000,
right? Exactly.
But as long as it's something like this is I feel like it's, for me personally, not something worth arguing about, right? Because you're gonna be with the one that you want to spend the rest of your life with,
memories are
the memories.
You get to, that's what your fiance, I'm sure, wants, is those memories and
those
the
memories.
big wedding.
But I'm like, that's memories. Maybe 6 hours. The memories in your house is forever.
I'm like you. I'm on your side on this one.
You hear that, babe? They're both on my
side. You can have good memories in so many different ways. They definitely have some good memories.
Yeah, we create.
Said, you can come and get married in our backyard by now. Like, shoot.
Right.
Grooming the crap out of that.
But also he was saying, like, oh, well, I'll pay for the wedding. You can pay for the house. But I'm like, if we put our money together, we can get the thing so much faster. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm like, me saving up by myself is going to take forever. Combined, yeah. Forces. Combined incomes, baby.
That's a really good compromise, I think. Yeah. You're both pushing for both each other. Like, right. He's pushing for your goal, which is, really sweet, and then you're pushing for his goal, which is really sweet. Like, you guys are both working together towards that. That's cool. Yeah, that would be I think that's a good compromise.
But he finally agreed. I wore him down. We're gonna do the house first.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
So no wedding date yet. Not till that down payment is in the bank. Then we'll do a wedding date and go from there. Oh, but I wonder, like, if you purchase a home, I I know it builds equity over time. So can you maybe in a year or so refinance and then use that money towards a wedding?
You could refinance as long as you have equity in the house. Like some people are.
But you got to like work on your house to build that equity, or
No, because
Market
you're paying
change.
down.
Change
You're
the market,
paying
yeah.
down on it already, and then the market is like the houses are going up right now, and it's probably gonna do that for some time.
okay.
I remember our neighbor.
But it's not, it's like in a steady way. It's not super fast. It's like just the inventory is not enough right now. So it's like if you purchased a house today and it praised, everything's fine. A year or two from now, your equity is going to be enough there where you can either take an equity line out or you can refinance. Either one will help you with that,
So that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, if it keeps going up, you buy the house first, and then you decide to have a big
Well, that's how I
wedding.
wore him down.
Yeah, later on, then you just
Also-
pull a
Right.
Yeah.
full equity line, then you got some money for your wedding right there.
Right.
But also, like, if you were to take out loans for a wedding, and this is not for you guys because you guys made your decision already, but like if you pull out loans for your wedding, you're gonna go to a bank later on and be like,
And then you won't be able to buy a house.
right, because
yeah.
you have that debt in there.
Well, he wanted to
possibly can't.
instead of pulling, well, he did bring up loans too, but then he was like, will you save or whatever? And like, pay the monthly payments, because we found like an all-inclusive venue, but it's in South Carolina. So I'm just like, or no, it was North Carolina. But I'm just like, that's going to be harder for people to travel to. It's going to be more money because those all-inclusive venues, you have to use their vendors. And I'm like, we could save literally half by going somewhere closer where we're able to use our own, because we have a lot of connections. We know a lot of people. I'm like, they're not going to charge us nearly as much as those other people are.
Right.
So I finally like got him to think, like, I found a venue that was equally as nice, because he has like a specific vision. We're doing a Beauty and Beast theme.
Oh yeah.
So it has to be a castle or castle looking.
yeah.
Nice.
So I found one in Rhode Island, which is only an hour and a half away.
Nice.
So people don't necessarily have to get hotels if they don't
Right.
want to. They can, but
Right.
it's just easier for everybody. The venue itself, because it's not all inclusive, is half the price. And then we can have, people are close enough, an hour and a half drive, we can use people in Connecticut that we already know.
Right.
To do the photography, to do the catering, to do whatever. So I'm like, we can save so much more money. And if we do the house first, then we can get the line of credit maybe in a year or two.
Right.
But we can at least still set a date, once we
Right,
have our
right.
down payment, we can at least make it work. So
Yeah.
And then you're getting your real estate license, so you might sell a couple of houses.
that's
in
what I'm
between
hoping
times.
for. But I didn't know I had to do it in mass. So I'm like, we're going to make this work, though. Springfield's right there.
Yeah.
So, we're going to make this work. But I'm going to transfer to Connecticut as soon as I can, too. So I don't know how long that takes. Probably a few weeks or so. But I don't know. But we'll, hopefully sell a few houses maybe. But like she said, the inventory is low, so I don't know.
No, but
We'll see.
I mean, I think that it's just a matter of when, like, you'll know. We can talk more about the real estate and stuff, but like the market itself is like, you just have to be smart about what your search is and how
Right.
you look at where you're looking, what time of year you're looking.
Same with the weddings.
It
It drastically changes based on wedding season.
Yeah,
So y'all need to do your research.
It's a huge
Go off season.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's
Have
like
a winter wedding.
yeah, like
Beauty and the Beast was in the winter.
Yes.
So we might have to do that.
it's like definitely like it's
Make it
timing
work.
is big. Timing is big.
But it hasn't been snowing lately, so I
No.
feel like that kind of defeats the purpose. But thank you so much for you guys coming out, and I think we all agreed house before wedding, but it's completely up to you and your personal situation. To everybody out there, but like Janie said and John, just do your research on both ways, see what financially is doable, because you don't want to start off a wedding putting yourself in the hole.
Yeah.
You don't want to start a marriage off with financial
Whether
stress
one way or the other.
Yeah.
And you don't ever want to put that before your actual relationship.
Right. Well, we've been together 13 years already, so it feels like a lifetime.
Y'all been married longer than
So I'm
us.
like, I guess I'm keeping you at this point.
So wait a little bit longer, you know.
I know, right? And I mean, I've talked enough shit about this dude on this podcast alone in the last year, but we got through our spats.
Yeah.
And
And now stronger than ever.
not stronger than ever. And the ring helps. The ring is pretty.
The ring is so cute.
Says every
He
woman.
looks at it more than I do.
I saw when you
Takes
posted
videos
that, I
of
was like,
it.
it's
I
so
was like,
cute.
do you want to try it on?
So
I asked
pretty.
him, like, thank you.
Yeah. It's sparkling like crazy.
Like crazy. Yeah, he did real good. I was like, okay, no, I'll see you. That could have went towards the house, but it's okay.
Right.
I won't nitpick. It's okay. But again, look us up on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Dirty T _podcast. Sometimes I'm on Snapchat. But I'll get better at it. I promise. The more time I get on my hands eventually. And good night.
Good night.